Hey friends, it's Susanna, and I am here today to share a traveler's notebook layout with you. I am doing my first layout in my second traveler's notebook insert of 2017, and I really like the way this one turned out. I'm using the July Gossamer Blue kits, and I just mixed my kits all together, so um, I'm not really using one specific kit for this. And I'm just starting out by trimming my photo down. It's not a specific sized photo. It's just a photo of Cody and I that I put in Lightroom and changed to black and white because the colors were a bit too bold. And then I just made it a random size and printed it out. So it's an odd size, but I'm going with it. And now I'm just sorting through the pieces of the kits over there to try to figure out what I want to use. And I start to make a pile at the top of things that I think I may want to use and then putting the other items aside. And sorry, that was an awkward silence. I just got caught up watching the video, of course. Short attention span. So I knew which paper I wanted to use, or one of the papers I wanted to use for this layout. So I think that's what I was kind of using as my basis of deciding whether or not I would want to use the items that I picked up. So the paper that I knew I wanted to use was that blue and white patterned paper on the right. And then I chose that floral pattern paper from the Traveler's Notebook kit. And I love those papers because they're a thick cardstock and they're pretty much the perfect size. So all you have to do is a little bit of trimming. And I'm using my Tombow Mono adhesive roller thingy-mabobby to stick that down. And I'm actually not a huge fan of tape runners because they create a lot of extra waste, and I try to cut back on waste as much as possible, but when I have them I use them, and this one seemed to be giving me a lot of trouble this day, so there's that. So now I'm just trimming down those extra bits, and I am going to take that large extra piece that I trimmed off and stick it down on the left side of the page to bring in a little bit of that pattern on the other side. And I noticed something in this video. Um, I am a perfectionist and I do know that, but in this video I seem to be like extra perfectionist. You'll notice I like peel a lot of things up to get them perfectly straight, and my head comes into the shot so often because I'm so worried that something's going to be crooked. And honestly, it drives me crazy that I'm that way. So I'm trying to get better at that, but in this video, I just noticed it way more than normal. So I'm just trimming off the extra, and then I'm going to take that blue and white patterned paper and cut that down so it's just a little strip. And it is shorter than the page, but I like that because I think it adds a little bit of dimension. So I'm just going to trim that down, and then I'll stick that down right there on the left side with that floral patterned paper showing still. And see, here I go. That line wasn't perfectly straight, so I'm trimming to try to make it more straight. Straighter. More straight? Straighter. I'm pretty sure I should have said straighter there. You know how sometimes you say things and you're like, I don't think that's correct, but then you don't really know what the correct word would be? I had one of those moments, if you couldn't tell. So now I'm just looking through that pile of items that I pulled from the kits, and I get distracted and think, I should add some washi right there. So I'm just going through my little washi ring and try to pick one that I like. These are actually, I pull out a couple more. These are my travel washi rings, but when I'm filming, they're in arm's reach, so I just use these instead, rather than grabbing and digging through all of my rolls. And then I just fill them up as they get empty. And for this purpose right here, you can see I can just pull a little piece, pull the little card aside and hold it up to my project, and so it works really well, actually. So I choose this mustard colored washi tape from Simple Stories. I believe it's from Simple Stories. And I love that mustard color. It's so pretty and it complements the navy blue and the pink floral paper really well. So just add a strip of that across that little, there I go, trying to get it perfectly straight. Come on, Susanna, it doesn't matter. Get your head out of there. Oh my gosh. What was I saying? Oh, I think I just added a piece along that seam because the seam was so harsh where the pattern paper met the traveler's notebook paper. So I felt like adding that bit of washi not only added a pop of color, but also toned down that seam a little bit. So I decided to put my photo on the left-hand side right there and then add a little rubber piece that says happy memories, I think it says, or happy moments. I think it says happy memories. And I pull a piece of chipboard out that says summer vibes. And then I'm looking through these tags right here to find one to put on that page, and I pick that white one. It says fun, and the word fun you can punch out. And I was trying to be really careful because I am a notoriously rough person and I rip everything. I'm just not gentle. And so when I go to punch that out here in a minute, I try to be really gentle so that I can save the pieces and use them later. And sure enough, I end up ripping my entire tag. You'll see that though. So I just marked where my tag is going to go on my page so that I can use that little stamp cluster and have it peeking out from the corner of the tag. And I love that little cluster stamp. It's so cute, and I've already gotten so much use out of it. Oh, good job, Susanna. So I'm cleaning my stamp off here. As much as I love taking care of my stamps, for some reason I just always forget to clean them. So I didn't on this day, and that's awesome. So then I'm just erasing the little lines that I drew so you can't see them. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and start, yep, here I go. So I start punching out those letters, and I'm being super gentle, and of course I get to the very last letter, and I just completely rip it. And I'm like, oh, come on, Susanna, seriously? So I'm all discouraged, and then I have a huge rip in my tag. Typical Susanna. So then I know where I'm going to place it, and I can easily just put that Summer Vibes chipboard piece over the rip or the tear, and nobody will ever even know it's there. So that's what I end up doing. So I'm just going to adhere that down with my tape runner. There's the top of my head again. Fighting with my tape runner, of course. Rubbing off a little bit of extra adhesive that's between those letters, and then I go ahead and stick that chipboard piece right there over the tear. I think that's actually where I wanted to put it anyways, so it was kind of convenient that that tear ended up right there. Sometimes you just get those happy accidents. So then I start to line up my photo again to put that down, but then I get distracted with these die cuts, and I start going through them, and I pull a few out that match the color scheme, and I don't end up using either of them. So they would have worked, but I think that light blue on both of those die cuts was just throwing me off a little bit. So then I pull out these labels and I try a few, and I end up putting one right at the top. Oh, going back to my photo, but I don't end up doing it. See, I get distracted so easily. Back to the labels. So I put one at the top right, and I just trim it off so it looks like it's falling off the page, which I love that look. And that's where I'm going to put my date. After I get it perfectly straight, of course. Oh my goodness. That's one of my goals this year, is work on my perfectionism, because like watching this video back, I'm sure you guys aren't noticing it nearly as much as I am, or maybe you are, I don't know. But watching this video, I am like, wow, it's a little excessive. So anyway, back to the photo on the left side. Third time's the charm, right? Maybe I'll actually stick it down this time. Tapping my fingers and thinking about who knows what. Nope, I'm distracted again with those word strip stickers. Oh, there I go. Using my tape runner to put that down on the left side, and then I'm going to go ahead and stick that Happy Memories rubber piece down with some Tombow mono adhesive. And I used to love this adhesive, but sadly, after I use the rest of that bottle up, it will need to retire because I've started noticing that if it oozes out from the side of an embellishment, or if I have an embellishment that has little cutouts in it and I use that adhesive on it, it turns a bright yellow color. So I'm using now, actually, that since I filmed this video, I've used that up, and I'm now using the iCraft, what's it called? iCraft mixed media adhesive, I believe it's called, and that works great, and so far I'm not noticing any of that yellowing going on. So I want to put the title Carmel, and because that's where we were, and I was going to use those white alphas that came with it, with the kit, but I decided to go through my stash and try to find something that will stand out a little bit more, and I come across those mustardy gold alphas, and they match the washi perfectly, and the little golden mustard ring at the top of that tag. And I've noticed in this video that I put everything back in the plastic, which is funny because when I store my kits, or when I put items into my stash, I should say, because I don't store items in their kits once I'm done with that month. So, like, once I'm done with my design team projects or with the month, so this was July's kit, and as soon as August rolled around and I stored all those items in my stash, I take them all out of the plastic because it's just easier to use them that way. Um, so I'm not sure why I was being so particular about getting those items back in that plastic. But anyway, going off on another tangent, I use the side of my hand to pull those stickers off. The side of your hand is like a perfect place to hold your stickers as you put them on. That way you don't have to find a piece of wax paper or something else to stick them to. So I'm thinking where I want to put these letters, and I end up putting them vertically next to my photo, and I overlap them a little bit on my photo, and I love the way that looks. It adds a nice pop against that black and white photo, and it kind of mimics the washi tape on the right side, and I just really like the way it all comes together. And I know that in paper crafting, it's a common thing to do colors or embellishments or something like that in, like, I'm going to call it the rule of threes. So you do things in groups of threes to, well, you can do it for different reasons. I feel like with colors, it really pulls the layout together. With embellishments, it can draw the eye in a certain pattern or line that you want it to go. So with the mustard yellow, I have the little ring on the top of the tag, the washi tape, and then the alphas. And I think those three elements just really pull that color together throughout the layout. So I add one, oops, sorry for that noise, I just accidentally shifted my little microphone. So I add one of those puffy heart stickers, and then I just go ahead and finish adhering down that strip of patterned paper because I didn't put tape all the way to the edges. And then I'm going to use those stickers, and I just add a couple of them here and there, a little heart and a little circle on the tag, and then a little, I think it's a circle at the top, but it could be a heart, I can't remember now. I tried to go for another one, but it just didn't work out. So I went ahead and put that one back. And then I'm just looking through to see what I should add next, and I contemplate another one of those puffy stickers, but I end up going with the word strip stickers. Oh, so I got distracted yet again, and I grab a little bowl and put these die cuts in them, and I pull out a few that, what am I pulling out here? So I'm looking through at the ones that that the colors match the layout, but I pull out those two little polka dot clouds, and those are the two that I end up using. And I just add them in that blank space right there at the top. And I overlap them just slightly, and I wasn't really using these as clouds. I just like the shape. I mean, I know that sounds silly. They are cloud shaped, but I like the shape with the polka dots, and I thought that they just went in that little empty space right there nicely. Sometimes I just use embellishments because I like them. So then I try again with those two little die cut shapes, and they just weren't working for me, so I went ahead and set those aside. And then I move on to the word strip stickers. So I'm just pulling a few phrases that I like and that suit the layout, and I'm sticking those to my hand to save while I'm reading through the different phrases. And I'm reading and I'm thinking, I love word strip stickers. I know I'm not the only one. They are just perfect for adding the finishing touches to pretty much any layout ever. So now I'm deciding where to put them, and I go for a cluster of 3 at the top right of my photo, and then a little cluster of 2 at the bottom left side of my right page. I thought about putting one under that chipboard piece, but it just didn't fit, so there we go. Put 2 there, and then I finish off the cluster of 3 right there by my photo. And then I go in and I do a little bit of journaling at the bottom, just a really simple sentence so I remember what was going on that day. And I have arthritis, so you'll notice that I have to stop a little bit of the way through. Sometimes my hands just don't like writing, and this was one of those days. And you'll also notice, I mentioned in a previous video, I get my face so close to my paper when I write, and I kept having to remind myself, like, Susanna, your face does not need to be that close. So yeah, I need to work on that. I can see the paper. I don't know why my face just gravitates towards it as I'm writing. Do you have that problem? Does anybody have that problem? I know I was talking to my friend Drea, Retro Hip Mama. I was talking to her about it. So I guess I'm not the only one. It's just funny. Oh, okay, so back to the layout. Stop getting distracted. Jeez. So I went to put the date up there, but realized I was filming on my phone and I couldn't get the date, so I will go ahead and add the date in there. And that finishes off the layout. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more crafty videos, and I will see you next time. Bye!